episode, first take or something to that effect. Rennos. That's also the other thing. I had Ren's Rants, but it's Rennos Rants. It just
No,
sounds a bit better.
no, I like Rennos Rants, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like it for me, so I'm doing that. Um, but yeah, what I wanted to say was, so I had this big plan this week. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff, figure out how all the shit works, and
Yeah.
then of course Monday comes around, and I get this call. From, I get into a call. It's a kickoff when it's a kickoff call, and I get in the call and I think, okay, life is peachy, no pressure. And then the oak starts with, okay, cool, they want this done and that done. And I say, oh, that's not too hard. Why? What's the problem? No, but they need it done by Wednesday. So I say, excuse me? What? I thought this is the kickoff. Yeah, no, we had the kickoff 3 weeks ago, but forgot to tell you about it.
Classic.
So I said to the PM, he's sitting there in Vietnam or wherever he's fucking sitting. I said, listen to us. So for those who don't know, duos can mean anything, and that's we have to explain. So so duos is for those listening. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but it generally means somebody that's irritating you or acting like a dildo. I don't know.
You said it better than me. I wouldn't even know how to even explain the concept.
Yeah, duos is just a word, and you can call yourself that. When you make a mistake, you say, "Don't do that." You duos. So, but it's duos, and you pronounce it like Duuos, duos, duos. It's not just duos, it's duos. So I say, listen, duos. So I can do this, but you just need to tell the other dude that I'm busy doing work for that his project that he wants by the end of this week must wait. And he goes, yo, who's that? And I give him the guy's name, and he goes, oh. I say, yeah, yeah, he's one of the senior boys. You, Mr. Project Manager, you can
Yeah.
go and tell him. And that shut that down quick. But in any event, I said to him, but you know what I'll do? Because I'm a nice guy. Just send me all the shit that I need to do. I speak to the Vietnamese, oh, I don't know, Filipino person, something. Send me all the stuff, I'll get it sorted. And then they go, oh, okay, but I've got to be in Slaapstad on Wednesday for CEO presentation and stuff. Slaapstad is just another word for Cape Town because Cape Town's a bit slow in comparison to the rest of South Africa. So we call it Slaapstad, Sleep Town, because it's slow. So slop, sleep, that's what that means. Anyway, so go to Slaapstad, go there, do the presentation, deal with a bunch of shit, and get to do nothing of what I wanted to do for Rennos Rants because I started watching the tutorials on OBS.
Hmm.
And OBS is, yeah, I can build a great computer, but OBS is more involved than I had anticipated.
Yeah. So, like I said to you, we'll take these
Yes.
people on the route with us because you've got to go step by step. At least now we're recording video, but you've got to start with a camera and then OBS and then the sound card. I mean, you've got all that stuff, but we'll upgrade it as we go.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I had a look at all of those things. I started investigating um, what's required to do all of these things. And the OBS, it'll work with the setup I've got at the moment. But like you said, if you want to do it the correct way, the camera's a big deal. And I had a look at the camera, and the cameras are around, but they look like a digital camera. I thought they would look like I don't know, something else. I don't know what I expected, but they look like a regular Kodak or the old days camera or a regular Nikon camera or something like that. But they're about 8 grand, 7, 8 grand around there.
Yeah, it is expensive, and some of them are even more, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, just like it. They were expensive things, but I mean, I just had a look at the one you gave me, that Canon one. They at
The
about
G7.
7, 8.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
G7 goes about
yeah.
7, 8 k there. The mics I didn't look at. Oh yes, no, but I did. I looked at the mics. I looked at the sound cards that you need to put in that rig that I'm putting together. Got that, no problem. And again, it's money, but it's required for this.
But
That's the
also, listen, dude, I think with cameras as well. I mean, like, I travel overseas quite often. So, whenever I'm, like in the US, for example, I'll buy that kind of stuff for people and you literally get half off. Also with
yeah,
cameras, don't be shy to get secondhand stuff off eBay or whatever.
yeah,
You'll find because it's like anything, with technology, when the newer models come out, the older ones drop in price.
yes,
So I think with a camera you can shop around. With sound cards, that kind of thing, dude, there's plenty, and it's competitive. It's
It
just the
is.
camera.
No, the camera is the big thing that I looked at. And like you said, and that's the other thing that I think about now. If you, you see now, you buy it overseas and you claim the VAT back on the way back,
Yeah.
life's good, even cheaper. And we don't have to pay these O's to steal money. Yes, sis. And then I found out about this whole bank thing this week.
What happened?
The Home Affairs thing that I didn't know about.
Tell me.
This started like 3 weeks ago, some shit. Or no, it started, well, it went off 3 weeks ago, but it's been coming for a little while. Now, you know DHA,
Yeah.
Department of Home Affairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens is every time you do an inquiry and like a digital biometric read at a bank or at a teller or wherever, that biometric request goes to Department of Home Affairs, and they send back all the information to whoever is the vendor or whoever's the bank. And the payment for that was 15 cents, 15 cents. And we're not talking US, this is South African rands, randelas, 15 cents. Right. Then 3 weeks ago, or like a month, 2 months ago, whenever they proposed legislation, they went, so we're increasing it by 6,400% from 15 cents to 10 Rand. Every time somebody touches that biometric thing. And so obviously that kind of fucks up bank models for a lot of people. The legacy banks not so much because they do batch transactions. So they may, so they'll send once a day and they'll maybe just require one line back or something. So it becomes cheaper. Not so much for the guys I deal with. It kind of ruins their whole plan. And I only found out about it this week, that they're doing this. So there's like a big thing. And then they've already signed it, they gazetted it. And now it's just waiting for Cyril's signature.
Jeez, I had no idea.
Bro, I didn't know. And I'm sitting in the CEO presentation, and they're all talking about it because they did pretty much the whole relaunch, but internally, and the rebranding and all that shit. And they were chatting about this, and I thought it maybe they're speaking about one of the competitors because of the colors that they're going to use or something. And then afterwards, or the next morning, they send out an email, and I see the email, and it says, concerning this increase. And I went, what the fuck is this? And then I had to, because nobody ever tells me fuck all. You know me. Yeah. I'm chilling in the back, like Scarlet Pimpernel. Nobody knows what I do, who I am, what I look like. Yeah, I rock up on Wednesday. Pimpernel. Yeah. That's what they call me. Because when was it? Like a 17 or something. I hadn't been to the office, and there was a change of management. New oaks came in and all that. And I hadn't been to the office for about 3 months because I had some issues to deal with. And one day I go to the office, and as usual, I walk into the boardroom because there's a meeting that involves me. I need to be there. I walk in, stand against the wall, and the primary PM that had just started there, or like while I was away, looks at me and she goes, "Who are you and why are you here?" And I say, "Well, this is who I am." And she goes, "Oh, we all know about you, but we've never seen you." And I was from that on Scarlet Pimpernel, because that's what they've been calling me. So it's sweet. And I realized it again on Wednesday. Go through this whole thing. Okay, so a lot of the seniors that I work with, they know who I am because they've seen me quite a bit. The rest of the people, they look at me and they like introduce themselves, or I introduce myself. "Oh, yeah, we know you. We know of you, or you did this, or you were working on this project that we worked with." And I said, "Yes, that's me." But yeah, I'm the guy sitting in the back that nobody ever talks to, unless there's a fuck up. When there's a problem, they're on the horn to me, and then I deal with it, which is cool. I don't mind it. They leave me alone. But nevertheless, the launch thing happened on Wednesday. It's coming down the line. A couple of things that I must still deal with. So I'm not even talking about that. Something that I thought about at that time before, but really while I was sitting there watching all these O's, is so I have like a real job too. And this could have a real impact on that real job. If somebody doesn't like a rant.
Sorry about that, Buzz. Someone in
No,
the
don't worry about it.
household, is putting on a microwave or frying the cat with some electrode device. I don't know. I've tried to figure it out, so just bear with me.
Tasing someone,
Yeah, someone's getting tased in the house.
or the light is going the dominated 3000 on his chick there in the room.
It's happening. It's happening. Anyway, so whenever you hear buzz, someone's getting lashed.
They're getting lashed. You're going to see them like walking very gingerly.
Oh, no. Come on. You're almost there. Go.
You're almost there. Harder, deeper. Dude, I'm in your throat. What are you talking about?
Oh, dude. I've tried to figure this thing out for the last year and I can't. So anyway.
Nah, don't worry. It's all good. That's why I say I was there and I was looking at this and I realized, so if I say something really, really cuck, and cuck
you have to explain cuck. Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah, so cuck, they directly translated into English is shit. However, it is not just shit as in the physical thing or act. Cuck can mean anything. It can, again, it's one of those words that's very versatile. That was cuck hard. So that means it was very hard. Or you just being cuck. So you're being shit. But anyway, it was, if I say something and somebody doesn't like it over here on my rants, it can cause a lot of cuck for me. Trouble. So cuck can mean trouble. There we go. So it'll cause a lot of shit for me. It could, technically. I don't know that it would. So I was thinking about that while I was sitting over there, that this could get interesting, but it's not going to stop me. I've committed, and I'm doing this because I can't not do this. This is just how it works.
We'll start slow. We'll gather momentum, and it will happen. Dude, it's also nice to start something and let people see it and see where it goes, so they watch that transition. So anyway,
yeah, it is, and so many things, because now keep in mind, because I had an Airbnb that right by the waterfront in Greenpoint, and so after I graphed, I go back there, and I was just sitting watching this mindless bullshit. Let me tell you something. Let me fucking tell you something right now. I don't understand how people have roommates that they know from nowhere, and the guy becomes their roommate, or the chick, or the fucking person, place, or thing.
What do you mean? Like as an adult?
Yeah. So check at this. So I watched. So now I've got nothing to do, and I just had some grays, a couple of beers, and I'm sitting over there, and in this apartment, and I start watching Netflix. I'm looking for something to watch, and I come across the worst roommate ever. It's like a documentary.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, sweet. I'll bite. And I play, yeah, man, and it's like, so the person
just pause. Explain what yara means.
Yeah, okay. Yara means also, again, is like, if you directly translate it, it means Lord. Probably it means Lord, but in our vernacular, to use the right thing.
So the Catholics would say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
and then translate that to all the other. The other religions.
Correct, yes. So, but Here for me means not that. It means it's just a term that I put in instead of swearing. So I'll say Here, because and it's almost like I'm asking for, please help me. That's what it's about. It's like, please help me. And I'm like, or it's like I watch this and I go, Here.
It's like, Jesus help me, Lord.
Yo, Jesus help me. How the fuck did this even happen? What in the and
there, Lesh. He's doing it again, picking up speed.
Somebody's getting pumped, wetted, stuck it, bro. Yeses. And then I use that because that is the last step before I get to what the fucking fuck. Yeah. Because then I'm out. I know that sounds like a lot, but that is when I just can't anymore, and I'm like, all right, I have nothing left to say. There's no more understanding this. Then I get to that. What the fucking? It's just because it's like, what the fuck, what is this? How did we get here?
How? Why? Please.
How?
It's like
There
at the
can be
core
no.
of my existence.
Yes, we are in the. Yeah, exactly. It's my soul. My soul
My
is
soul.
asking the universe. Yeah, how did we get here? Tune me, please. Tune me straight. Tell me. Enlighten me. So, so yeah. So, and that's so I'm sitting here, and I'm.
Sorry, I'm going to stop saying it, but every time our
But we
listeners,
know it every
yeah,
time.
everyone knows now.
Everybody's getting twatted. Someone's getting twatted there once. And so I sit there watch, and then so what happens is this person, so let me think of. Okay, so you have this like serial squatter dude or something. So they'll have an apartment that they rent or something, but they can't afford the rent by themselves. So they'll put an ad in Craigslist, as you do, and some anonymous person comes to your house and then say, "Yeah, I want to be a roommate," and they pull in. And then, like 2 months later, they haven't paid fuck all. They've moved all their shit in there. They've taken over the entire spot, and you can't get them out because this particular guy knew the law like better than the lawyers.
Yeah.
He just knew the law, and they couldn't get rid of him. Then you had another fucking Archie that just he killed the oak. Well, he killed his roommate because he like fell in love with her, but he was about 200 years older than her, and they killed her. It just became like, what the fuck are you people doing? And then the other oak killed the chick's cats, and fuck, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm drinking, and I think to myself, no, bro, you know, I'm not getting a roommate. Fuck a roommate. And I sit there and I think, what? The one chick somewhere lost her house because the oak went, it's my house now, and kicked her out, and like lost the house that way. But yeah, so I checked that and I just said to myself, no, never get a fucking roommate. It is a bad idea. And I don't understand how that works. You don't know this person. It's not as if you have like homes in South Africa where generally a lot of I'll call it regular homes have like a bathroom and maybe another bathroom with just a shower and a toilet in it or something to that effect. Almost all of these things only have one bathroom with a bath and a shower.
Yeah.
And now you sharing this with some person that you've never met in your life, and I don't know. And it's not. It just fuck. I watched it and I thought to myself, no.
Anyway, for our listeners, "ya" means yes, and Archie is not from a comic. His mate is not Jughead.
Correct. Archie is a term that I use for many things, but it generally refers to a person. This Archie did this, or that Archie did that, because let me clarify. I can't remember names for shit. Can't remember names. Faces, yes. I'll see a face once, can remember, but I can't remember people's names. So I give people names that I can remember. For instance,
give some examples, like on your phone.
Like on my phone. On my phone, I've got the quitter, the fool, the problem, the nitwit. These are all people. Who's the other guy? I don't have my phone with me now, but I've got many that. So I'll give him a name. Oh, we actually spoke about it in the week. There was this guy that worked with us, and he was keen, but he was quite shit at his job. He wasn't very good, and I had to write timesheets. I was doing timesheets at the time, and I couldn't remember the guy's name. And all I would fill in the timesheet was funny hair guy. I did this with funny hair guy, or funny hair guy project this. And after the second or third time, they phoned me and they said, "Who the fuck is the funny hair guy?" I said, "Man, I don't know. He's like on the second floor. He sits there next to that guy." Oh, okay. Now we know who it is.
So tell me, if Nitwit phones, do you say like, "Hi, Paul"?
Yeah,
or "Hi, Richard. How are you?"
Yeah, no. Then I'll play the real name. Hello. But they don't know. That's why I cannot have my WhatsApp screen open when I'm doing a screen share, because the people will go, "What do you mean? I sent you a message and it says the fool." Why am I? Because that's what you are. That's or the bullshit guy. I'm the bullshit guy, and fuck, man, I have many O's in the thing. Or my best is when I get spam and they've not been listed on Truecaller. I list them as spam cunts, or something like that. But it gets rejected. The language is a bit stronger would appear. They don't think it, but it still says it on my phone. I don't know what it says on other people's phone. So that's why I give people names. I give them fucking names so that I can understand who I'm talking about or to or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, but it's always been like, to give an idea, when I went to school back in the good old days when there was still order and normalcy in schools, I got grade one. Yeah, grade one. That's what it's still called, I think. And I think I was there for 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Got called to the principal's office because they had a rule you're not allowed to give anybody a nickname. And by day four, I had nicknames for everybody because I couldn't remember their names. So I got fucked up for giving people nicknames. First week at school, and that was, if when I look back at it, that was just an example of things to come, because it never got better. It just escalated from there. I was in shit all the time. But yeah, they had a rule you can't give people nicknames, and I think, but why? I mean, fucking nickname. It's cool. Like everybody has a nickname.
Exactly.
I think. Well, to me, everybody has a nickname. Everybody I know, I have a nickname for you. Whether it's good or bad, I don't really give a shit. But if you have a bad nickname, it's your own fault. Then you chose it.
It's your own fault. Exactly.
You have a lack of nickname. I don't even know what my nick. Well, I don't even know what my nickname is. The best they have is like what?
It's a Reno.
Reno or Rento.
Or Rento.
Yeah, Rento or Ren. One of the guys calls me Ren.
But Rento sounds to me like something out of like Rent Boy, which means it's a bit gay.
Yeah, it's a bit gay. It's not lekker, But
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's because of finger trouble. So this other doers, that's how this happened. You see? So this other doers that worked with me a long time ago, he goes somewhere, but this was a fucking strange dude as well.
And people, we don't discriminate against like gay people. We don't mind them.
No.
But we straight guys, so it's like kind of weird, if you get labeled as a rent boy.
Correct. That is correct. Like a rent boy, a lady boy, that type of thing. And also, I'll like say being a fag or a faggot, and it's not because you're gay. And if you don't get that, there's a South Park episode dedicated to explaining the difference between gay and being a faggot. Because a fag is the guy that comes with his Harley Davidson, which in other words is a petrol to noise converter. It's not a motorcycle. Contrary to popular belief, Harley Davidson is not a motorcycle. All it does is it converts petrol to noise, and it's fucking noisy as fuck. And it's uncomfortable, right? No good. So this guy, when we were at a what do you call it, company event, and the event dragged on for a little while longer, and he wanted more grays. It was after dinner, and he wanted more dinner. So the guy orders Chuck. He wants a piece of Chuck.
What is Chuck?
Chips. Chuck it's a piece of beef. It's a cut of beef, but you generally make stew out of it or something. I can't exactly. I must go check it. But it's not something you're going to. It's not on the menu. It's not on the menu.
It's like the second prize of the meat selection. It's like
yeah. It's not
the last selection that you would like. Yeah, exactly.
It's like stewing beef
that you wouldn't sell to the public.
Correct. Stewing
beef.
Yeah. That's what this. And that's like anyway. So to give you an idea, that's his. But he was a fucking smart guy. He's very smart. I think he lives in Oz now. But anyway, so he went one day to, I don't know, somewhere for a weekend away, and he saw this massive fucking tortoise that he took a picture of, and he typed a message and he sent it to me or to the group or whatever, because he made some reference to I'm as slow as this thing or something, but instead of spelling my name correctly, he left out the A, and it was Rento. And from that day onwards, and I'm talking 2005, 6, tortoise is a Rento. That's the name for a tortoise. Is a Rento.
Okay.
So and that's why. So but mine. But the real name is either Reno or Ren. That's my nickname.
Well, if you say Rento, I'm going to rent you for the weekend, buddy. And I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah, the Dominator 3000. I can hook it up, and we can also make. And then what we can do is we can do it on video, and then you can see why. And you can see the real life effects of a Dominator 3000 when it's being used.
Dude, I'm tempted to like not fix this thing so we can like hear like what's going on in the household behind closed doors.
We must do it, John.
I've got cameras. I can check my solar usage, but I can't see what's happening in the 18-year-old's bedroom. So that's my my other monitor.
We've got to make a plan, bro. We've got to hook you up with a bit of a spy camera that we can stick in there and check what's cutting. But like a fisheye one, so you can see the whole room, like a 180.
Dude, we'll make money. I promise you, we'll make so much money.
Content, bro.
Anyway.
Content. So yeah, so I don't even know where we are. But anyway, so that's the thing. Everybody has a nickname. Your nickname's Dizzy, or Steve-O, whichever. But I know you're Steve-O. I've always known you as Steve-O. So
well, Steve-O's on the pic, so we'll leave it as Steve-O.
And you're my brother from another mother. That's just how that is.
From another mother, exactly.
Correct. But yeah, to get back, and then the rest of the week, and then I fucking graphed on Thursday, got a bunch of stuff done, and then yesterday was pulling back into the house. I got here and I was like, yes, it's MotoGP weekend, so you know what that means. I've got to deal with these commentators that are absolute knobs. They cannot stop talking about fucking Marc Marquez. And he is like the best oak in the world ever. Anyway, so you checked that rant I sent you last night?
Yeah, dude. Clip? So do me a favor, like, and for everyone listening, but for me especially, like, I know nothing about MotoGP. So like, what do we have to look out for?
Okay, so
like dispel the myth.
Okay, I'll dispel the myth.
Who's Marc Marquez? Like, why is he a toss?
He's
blah,
a tosser.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, he's a tosser. He's
explain,
a proper doer.
Explain. Asseblief.
Because this little Nai...
Asseblief means thanks.
Yes, correct, yes. And Nai means shag or to fuck.
Yes.
So, but this little Nai, what his story is everybody thinks that he's like the best ever rider, in the history of MotoGP, but he's not. And I'm not even going to compare him to a whole bunch of people, because everybody that has a brain has been watching the sport for at least 20 or more years know that Valentino Rossi is the GOAT, but him and Agostini are very close to one another. Agostini has 8 world titles, and it's not about the amount of world titles. It's all about what you bring to the sport and those types of things. Anyway, this little fucking Muppet, so I call him the Muppet, because he is one. This dude, what he does is he plays the rule. He's always on like the fucking almost over the line, almost over the limit when he's riding, when he's overtaking, when he's, he's a shit person. But it wasn't always like that. So he started in 2010, raced 125, then 250, or went to the next last Moto2, entered Moto GP 2013. Yes, that's correct. And won his rookie year. But also there were factors that helped him. Cool, no problem, he can win. And by 2014, I realized this guy can ride a bike. He's good. He's really good. He's going to be the next big thing. He's going to be the face of MotoGP. Come 2015, I know I'm going back a bit of time here, but you wanted to know. Come 2015, he'd already won 2 titles, or a title. Early on in the season, he bails a couple of times, and he's out of the running. So he can't win the title anymore, and he starts fucking around with Valentino Rossi's title ambitions, because it's between Rossi and Jorge Lorenzo. They're racing, and that would have been Rossi's 10th world title. He already had 9. And long story short, Phillip Island, third last race of the season, he fucks around with Rossi, but a lot. He goes faster, slower, because Rossi's trying to catch Lorenzo in the lead. He's in between, and he's just holding him up, just being disruptive. And then they go to Sepang, second last race of the year, does the same thing. And then Rossi runs him wide next to him, runs him wide up into the dirty part of the track. And they claim Rossi kicked him and he fell. Sure. So he fell down. Obviously, you're not allowed to do that. So they penalise Rossi, and he has to start right at the back of the grid for the last race, and he loses the title by, man, I think something like 3 points. But because of this, right? Because of that unsportsmanlike behavior. And that was the day, and Dorna banked on him. Dorna, they run MotoGP. They banked on him because they thought, Rossi's going to retire in like a year or two or whatever. And he would have. Had he won that 10th title, which he had in the bag, he would have won, I'm sure. He would have raced another maybe 2 seasons and left. But instead of playing it the right way, they fucked up and they banked on Marquez. Now, this is a decade ago, and nobody has forgotten about it. And they hate him for it because it's unsportsmanlike. He got involved in someone else's title challenge for no reason. And then afterwards, he admitted that he did it deliberately because he said it's easier to achieve 9 titles than it is to achieve 10 or to beat 10. So he admitted it. And then he fucked up Honda's entire MotoGP project because he rides like a dildo. He rides well. He rides very well, but he has a very unique riding style, and he's very good at left-handers, but anybody can be good in a left-hander because your right throttle hand is free to do whatever you want.
Is that like a reach around or?
Yeah, he's good at, you see, that's what happens. Because now the Duas, he's engaged now, or not engaged, no, he has a girlfriend, and obviously she's pegging him, and he gets a reach around because that's all I can see happening over there. I mean, that thing can't get it up with you. So that's what, and he's been giving, he's been giving his brother a reach around, his younger brother, his whole life, because his younger brother is faster than him on a faster bike, and he's not allowed to race him. He must stay second this season. So, but what's more egregious than all of this is that this cunt, all he wants records. He wants to make every record, whatever. And one of the records he now achieved last weekend was 100 pole positions. But I have a problem with that because he achieves a pole position, many of them. And I'm actually going to do a deep dive on this, not a muff, but a deep dive, to see how many pole positions he's achieved by doing the following. What he does is he'll go out of the pits behind another rider, stay behind that rider, probably about 10 meters behind the rider in front of him, which gives him an advantage. It's a tow. That rider in front is towing him around the track. And it doesn't matter what time the rider in front of him sets, his time will inevitably be faster by a couple of, tenths or whatever second. And he's been doing that for fucking years now. To a point where he did it with one of the riders that he would go, and it's always been frowned upon. The riders never did this to one another. So he started it, and then in one race it got to a point where the one guy got upset with him, Vinales. He's also got some problems, but he got upset, and to make Marquez get out from behind him, he drove through the pits. And fucking Marquez followed him through the pits just to make a point that this is who I am, this is what I do, and no one complained. FIM say that's not against the rules, but it's very unsportsmanlike, but he does it. So that's one of the reasons. So now what happened is, like, every weekend I yell at the TV. I sit there and I yell at the fucking television because the commentators give him, or he gives them a reach around every weekend. So, they're like, oh, Marquez. Hang
on a sec. Okay,
yeah.
carry on.
Oh, I don't know who cleans up that commentary studio when they finished after a weekend.
Those cleaners must flip those oaks.
Yes.
Flip means swear, by the way.
Yeah, swear, cussing them out. Yeah, the cleaners flick them. Yeah, dude. That place must be a fucking shambles when they finished over there. And I just can't anymore. Even though now the one dude, old lazy eye Lewis Sotheby, if you check him on this show, I'll make a video of him. He's like one of the commentators, but he's a young commentator. It looks like he's realized. Hang on a second, because there's been they've been purchased by Liberty Media that run Formula One. Long story. It looks like he's realized either me flicking them on X all the time about how fucking useless they are or something. He is now starting to blaspheme about Marquez when Bird Brain, Matt Bird, next to him says, "Oh, Mark is the best." He goes, "Yeah, but you see, his brother's throwing him around the track. That's, I don't know why his brother keeps doing that. I promise you, he said that." And I sat there and went, "Jesus, they're gonna fire you, bro. You're blaspheming. You cannot say that about Marquez." And he said it again yesterday. He was like, "No, but see, Marquez is doing this." Yes, yes. I just sit there and I go, "No, bro, no, I can't." And then the race comes, and what's the worst? What makes it more aggravating is he'll do this. He'll like get a toe, get the pole position, and then and not admit the fact that he cannot get a pole position on his own strength or just by himself. And in the race, he'll beat the rest of them by, at this now, specifically this season, 3 or 4 seconds because his brother runs interference for him. So he starts first, his brother maybe starts second.
What's
and then
interference?
So he'll ride, slot in behind Mark. His brother's name's Alex.
Yeah.
He'll slot in behind Mark. And anybody that tries to overtake him, he will ride as hard as possible to keep those oaks from overtaking him so they can't get to Mark in the lead. But if he's in the lead and Mark comes up behind him, he like fucking literally jumps off the track so Mark gets past him, his brother. The older brother gets past, the wanker. And then he just sits there and he blocks everybody else. And then the guy wins by like 5 and 10 seconds, but he can't do a pole lap by himself. Now, how can you call this guy great? You can't do that.
Doesn't make sense.
And then you have somebody like Fabio Quartararo. He's on a Yamaha at the moment. Now, that is not even a motorcycle at this point. It's like a fucking shopping trolley with 3 wheels on. And that oak is doing pole laps by himself. He got pole today by himself. Nobody in front of him, no tow, no slipstream, no nothing. In a shopping trolley. He's riding a shopping trolley with 3 wheels. He manages to get pole. But reach around boy on a Ducati, super duper best bike ever, he can't get a pole without getting help from somebody in front of him.
Jeez.
So it tells you he's not the best. Yeah. But there are many other factors but he's a fucking annoying cunt. That's what he is. I don't like him. But I did, for the record, I did say before his shenanigans in 2015 that he would be the face of MotoGP. But then he did what he did. And that was a mistake. That's just what that was. But anyway, I'm going to go watch a race just now and go see what fuck up he does. That's just... And yell at the TV. That's what I do. I sit in front of the TV. That's where the rants come from. I sit in front of the TV and something will happen. The commentators won't see it because they're busy jolling with their Dominator 3000 over there. And jolling means playing. So when we say jolling, it means they're playing. So they're playing. They've got their own Dominator 3000 in the studio over there, hooking each other up. I don't know. And a battery with some nipple clamps. So they're not even following the race. As long as he's in the lead, they're happy. They don't give a fuck about the rest. And then stuff happens in the background and in the rest of the race, and they don't commentate on it. That's why I started making those clips where I say, look behind the fucking oak. Do your job. Rennos Rants, man. We're going to see.
Rennos Rants, buddy.
And I got my mate Steve over here, the main producer, the main dude, giving us all the info, all the technical wizardry that we need to be able to make these rants.
Yeah, I'm like Jamie in Joe Rogan or Rick Rubin,
yes,
who did all those flipping famous bands, buddy.
Yes, but there is a difference. You are Rick Rubin, but see, I'm not the famous band and I'm not the talent. You're nurturing somebody.
You're the talent. Dude, I've spent a long time with you. I know there's talent. There's lots more to come, by the way. You have no idea what's still in store.
And you were right. You're Koos. We're going to talk about Koos.
No, Koos is the main event.
Koos is the main event, and then we're going to have a couple of little suities. Yes, there a couple, but Koos is the main event. And I've been thinking, I left out a lot. That fucking story.
Now on purpose. Let's start slow. Let's get it up and going, and then you oaks better flip and put your seatbelts on. You have no idea what's in store.
Koos is going to be an episode of itself. It is because it's just and just for context, you are going to think it's bullshit, made up. Somebody wrote it, and no. I have many people, many witnesses that witnessed that entire trip, 10 days,
It's a
however long it was.
documented fact.
It's documented fact.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, never happened. It's impossible. Nobody can be like that.
Yeah.
Yes, we can be like that. You can. And we are. Many times.
Cheers, boys.
Neville.
I'm going to stop recording now.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. We'll be back. You'll check us.
Right, there we go.
Lekker, bro.